Welcome back to Get Down to Business, the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. It seems like everybody these days is talking about the Great Resignation because that's in this red hot job market. A record-shattering number of U.S. workers are quitting their jobs and perhaps starting a new job search. Here to join me in a conversation is the co-author of a brand new book, The Empowered Job Search: Build a New Mindset and Get a Great Job in an Unpredictable World. And indeed, it is an unpredictable world. And that's why I'm joined by Lauren Weinstein, who has written this fantastic read with some great research and, more importantly, some great advice. Lauren, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me on.
Oh, it's such an important topic, especially as we talk in mid-January. So everybody's pressing that reset button and setting their New Year's resolutions professionally, as well as personally too, perhaps. So what brought you to write this book? And then we'll get into it, if that's okay with you.
Sure. Well, my co-author and I just saw how many job seekers felt pain in the process and also felt lonely and isolated. And so we actually came together initially to design a career leadership program at a foundation where I was working at the time. And as we continue to talk about how important mindset is in the job search and how to make the job search easier, this book came to fruition.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. And I know that, the job market was certainly different even pre-COVID, but now I guess my first question for you is, what are the unique opportunities and challenges that this new environment can actually be of benefit to the folks in this job search?
Yeah, well, in some ways, I feel like the job market is super hot in certain industries and marketplaces, and in other sectors, it's a little cold. And so I think the question is, how do you figure out what your unique value is to bring that to this job search, and where is the opportunity? And so I think what I'm seeing is that some people are getting jobs so much faster than before, and they have multiple offers. And from a finding talent perspective, from small businesses or employers, it's there's a lot of people, a lot of applicants, and sorting through and getting clarity on who the right person is both an opportunity and a challenge.
Absolutely. I'm chatting with Lauren Weinstein, who has spent over a decade helping hundreds of people navigate their professional career paths and working with organizations to make them healthy and productive. It's a great read. It's called The Empowered Job Search. So, Lauren, you are an expert in this field. What's the most important thing that people get wrong about the job search?
I think that people think that if they just press click and apply to jobs over and over again, that is going to lead to an actual job. I think so much of it is about doing the deeper work of knowing what your true value is and also managing your mindset. I think that's one of the biggest things that gets in the way of a successful job search is feeling depressed or sad, or I'm not good enough, or I can't believe this person got an interview over me, or I haven't heard back from anybody. Am I doing something wrong? So much of it is managing your own emotions around the job search. And the other part I would say is having that clarity of who you are and what you're uniquely bringing to the job.
Absolutely. And as you said, mindset is so important, not to get frustrated on what has been, but actually focus on your identity going forward. And I've shared this analogy many times on this program. If I blindfolded somebody and I handed them, a weapon and said, hit the target, there's basically no chance that they're going to hit the target. The same thing is true in the job search as well. You have to know exactly who you are. And perhaps more importantly, where you're going, what that dream job is, perhaps is maybe more important than the resume itself. So why is your book different from other job search books? What's inside the book? Give us a sneak peek. I don't want to share all the secrets because we'll link our listeners, obviously, to make sure they pick up a copy of this award-winning book, The Empowered Job Search. But why is your book better?
I don't know if it would be better, but it's another perspective. I know there's a lot of great books out there. I think for us, mindset is a huge piece. We have a mindset for each chapter, and we walk you through all the stages of the job search process. Well, not just talking about how you build that mindset, but giving you really practical tools as you do that. And so we actually walk people through, what's your optimal work rest cycle? How does that fit with your ideal job? What's your unique value? And really defining the work that you want, and not just in terms of maybe the job function in a team, but also other nuance around your manager, what's the blend of your coworkers and what kind of learning and growth opportunities do you have? So all the hot topics that I think are on people's minds, but walking you through a deliberate process of how to get that job. And I would add one more thing, which is we really talk about community building. I know you've done a lot of work around networking and building that community, but I think reframing how you think about your relationships in the context of your job search is also really important and healthy for people, is that you're not just selling yourself, and trying to get people to buy, but you're really building with intention and connection around shared interests and ideas. And I think that feeling can help carry you through the job search.
Absolutely. I'm chatting with the co-author of The Empowered Job Search, Build a New Mindset, and a great job in an unpredictable world that came out just a couple of months ago and is so relevant right now as we step into a new year, a new environment, and so many people are going through this job search. So before we go to break, Lauren, in 30 seconds or less, if you had one message for the employers out there, for the business community out there, for the organizations that I know you've worked with, what would that message be?
I would say take care. Take care of both your people who are currently working inside your organizations. And as you're thinking about, your brand and how you're recruiting people, be kind in the process. It's, there's a way to approach hiring in a way that candidates feel respected and valued and get some, helpful feedback along the way. And so I think it's easy when you're in a hurry just to say, okay, we have to get these candidates, we're going to run this process. But then on the other side, just really making sure that you're knowing where each candidate is when possible, especially for those folks who've made it to, some final rounds and helping them build their careers and succeed, regardless of whether they're getting the job.
Awesome. Well, that's great advice. And after the break, we are going to continue our conversation with Lauren Weinstein, the author of a fantastic read, which I encourage all of our listeners to pick up. Go on Amazon, The Empowered Job Search, Build a New Mindset, and get a great job in an unpredictable world. A quick break. More with Lauren Weinstein when we return after this quick break. Everybody these days is talking about the Great Resignation, and that's the reset button that so many job seekers, so many employees, I should say, are pressing on their professional career. And that means that everybody wants the empowered job search. And good thing I am joined by the co-author of the book with that same title, The Empowered Job Search, Lauren Weinstein. We've been chatting about some of the advice regarding mindset, some of the advice regarding staying focused, and some of the advice to employers as well. So again, Lauren Weinstein, welcome back. And taking a step back as we have this conversation in early 2022, what are you seeing in terms of trends and hot industries that you want everybody tuning into this program to be looking at over the next 12 months?
Yeah, well, I might be a bit biased because I work in the tech space, but I think certainly tech is a hot industry. But I think if you look across a lot of the different sectors and industries, I think about it as a consumer and where is the demand and how is it shifting? And so I think there's actually opportunity across lots of different sectors. It's just a matter of what skills you have and what skills you're developing and the work you have to do to translate that between new opportunities that exist that we might not even know what they are yet.
Absolutely. No, that's great. And it's okay to have a bias. That's okay. And frankly, I think that you're onto something over here in terms of a hot industry. So Lauren, as we come to the conclusion of our conversation, I want to make sure everybody tuning in has that homework assignment, that New Year's resolution, something that they could put in place either in their job search, in their week ahead. What would you like to see everybody considering a career change do before they tune in to get down to business next Sunday?
Yeah, well, I would say it's funny enough, it's not necessarily related to your job search, but one of the recommendations we have in the book is creating a morning practice or an evening practice. And I think we also talk a lot about the feelings and needs. And if you could just check in with yourself every day and say, what feelings do I have today? Am I happy? Am I sad? What needs do I have? What met needs or unmet needs do I have? And what does that mean for me in terms of what I need to action on, right? Do I need to get a walk and just have some time outside? Do I need to talk to my partner? What's going to make me feel whole? And that actually carries over so well into how you're engaging with other people as you're building relationships and connecting and talking about your ideal work. And so I think starting with yourself and knowing what you feel, what you need can help you really action on your job search.
That's awesome. And I've certainly learned a lot from our conversation. I can't encourage our listeners strongly enough to pick up a copy of the book, The Empowered Job Search. But Lauren, you've got a great website. You've got a lot of tips I know that you're posting and sharing. And this hopefully is just the beginning of some additional work that you and your co-author, Kathy, are working on together. So I want to leave the last minute to you. How can people learn more about the book and get in touch with you and your team?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we have a website, theempoweredjobsearch.com, and the book's on Amazon, and also now through Ingram Spark, local bookstores. I just went to my local bookstore and got a copy, which was really fun. So yeah, it's out there, and certainly you could follow myself and Kathy on LinkedIn. We do like to post a lot, both about job search and also about work, right? And succeeding and thriving in this crazy work world we have right now. Just trying to stay healthy and maintain our well-being in these times right now.
Absolutely. Well, I hope everybody is certainly doing that. And these are crazy times, but it's also a huge opportunity right now. And if you take away one item from our conversation here, it's definitely, again, stay focused with that mindset and have a plan, strategize, because it's not going to happen on its own. But one of the best things you can do is pick up a copy of The Empowered Job Search. So thank you so much, Lauren Weinstein, for joining us on Get Down to Business. I look forward to having you back on real soon. And that's a wrap for us here on the show, all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. Get on my website, shalomklein.com. That's where you can download podcasts from the past 8+ years of shows with amazing leaders, some great advice. And be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share. That's the easiest way to ensure that other people find out some of the great advice that we've been sharing on this episode. And of course, check out our sponsors, Tom Marabali from healthplanchicago.com, healthplanchicago.com for all of your Affordable Care Act and health insurance needs. And again, my website, shalomklein.com. To success, let's get down to business. We'll talk to you next Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on AM 560, The Answer, or wherever podcasts may be found.